Whenever someone asks me, like at work or at home, how are you doing? I say I'm great, because I always show a positive attitude. Deep down, I know that I'm just trying to get over this and be more positive about it.
And he's not alone. The only face-to-face support group for patients living with Hidradenitis Suppurativa, otherwise known as HS, takes place at Henry Ford Hospital in Michigan. It's an opportunity for patients to talk freely about their condition.
When you go to the doctor's office, they don't necessarily talk about their other patients and what's going on with them. So it's really good to come in here and talk and, and ask questions, and they ask me questions. It's really good to open up and have a good discussion.
Kim Radish was first diagnosed with HS when she was 10 years old.
It does feel very isolating, so it's a good opportunity to be able to talk to other people and find out what's working for them and offer support to one another.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Glad to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
So, just wanted to check and see how the Hidradenitis Suppurativa is
Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Iltafat Hamzavi, who specializes in HS, says it's a chronic inflammatory disease that's often misdiagnosed for boils.
Most of us get boils, but in one location. Hidradenitis Suppurativa tends to involve symmetric locations, both underarms, both areas below the chest, both areas of the groin. So the symmetry is the difference. However, boils are very commonly found, but they tend to go away. Hidradenitis suppurativa keeps coming back in those characteristic locations.
Remember when we first moved over here and I couldn't really walk?
Evany Colbert-Taylor discovered she had HS soon after she got married.
It just started off as one spot, and then it started spreading, and then my skin started ripping apart. This was supposed to be our guest room, but this is where I usually do like my bandage changing and put on my medicine. I keep what I currently use in these containers.
These cabinets contain more than $1,000 in supplies. She says her husband Rajan has been her rock.
I'm Superwoman, but the disease really made me learn how to depend on him.
Don't sit there, stare at them and just, cry because they're crying.
But he didn't know how strong I was until I had the disease, and I didn't know how tender he was.
Relationship-wise, it can tear you apart if you don't address the emotional side and things like that.
The severity of hidradenitis suppurativa is categorized into 3 stages.
Stage 1, you only have boils. Stage 2, the boils connect together and form a tunnel. That's called a sinus tract. Now when you have one sinus tract, that's already a stage 2. But if the sinus tracts start interconnecting and branching off from each other, kind of like branches off a tree, you're into stage 3, early disease.
Melissa Kleiman turned to the internet when she noticed her first lesion.
I was about 15 and I had a spot that appeared on my groin. I posted it online in kind of a women's health forum, and basically the response was I was told that I probably had genital herpes. So that was embarrassing to deal with, and I knew that wasn't the right answer at that point. So
Kleiman always had self-esteem issues, but this disease magnified her insecurities towards her body. She says it's put a strain on her love life.
Because my partner doesn't like to see my scars, and it's difficult when the person you're in love with doesn't want to see you naked.
The emotional stress that comes with the condition is as agonizing as the physical pain.
My pain was so bad at one point I couldn't dress myself. My husband would have to put my socks on. He had to shower me because I couldn't shower myself.
And then sometimes you have the soreness of the skin where if you stretch it too much, or it feels like it's stretching away from the body, like someone's pulling at your skin consistently.
I never wanted to be intimate, even with my husband. And this has definitely caused issues in our marriage. He's very understanding and has never done or said anything that would make me feel that way. Those feelings are mine, and in fact says the opposite, but it doesn't seem to make a difference in how I feel.
I've had conditions erupt in the middle of Wall Street negotiations. Those people that have the condition know just how random and how sudden and how unpredictable it can be. And that again is one of the real nasty characteristics of HS. It strikes when it wants to strike.
Former Congressman and accomplished businessman Max Sweeney has been living with HS for nearly 40 years. As a father, he faced his toughest HS challenge last year.
I went to bed feeling a little bit sore, sort of in my shoulder, underarm area, and I just assumed that it was because I had been working out earlier that day, as I usually do, and thought, you know, maybe I'd strained a muscle or something. It's probably nothing. And then I woke up in the middle of the night, early morning, and I had this cyst underneath my arm that was like the size of a golf ball, and freaked out a little bit, but knew immediately that it was HS because I knew that my dad had had it, and I called him.
This condition really is genetic. I mean, you can pass it on from father to daughter and daughter to her children.
Sweeney says HS is a skin disease nobody wants to talk about.
The private and public stigma, and they're both bad, is enough to really change the way you interact with others and change the way you see yourself.
Those living with it often hide their disease and avoid doctors. Until recently, it was considered a rare or orphan disease.
An orphan disease is defined as less than 200,000. There is no way that there are less than 200,000 patients.
According to online medical journal Medscape, HS affects at least 1 in 100 people when milder cases are also considered. There is no cure for HS, but there are topical, oral, and surgical options.
2 or 3 different topical agents will often recommend to patients, and they're all prescription or over-the-counter products that seem to help.
I'm willing to try anything, and I've put, anything from organic herbal to turmeric powder.
I've taken zinc, I've taken turmeric, I've put turmeric on my skin.
More about HS.
Angela Parks Miller is a clinical research manager who works with Dr. Hamzavi.
They may see some results with those topical products or the oral products or even the infusions. However, there's nothing that's consistent. They will kind of wax and wane. So there's a need for something to be consistent that will keep them in a constant state of being flare-free.
She helped Hamzavi complete a clinical study on a new topical cream.
Time-released iodine product that seems to be less irritating than benzoyl peroxide and appears to be as effective as the benzoyl peroxide.
When they are having a rough time and they've gone through a surgery and they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel of recovery, they'll give me a call and I kind of talk through them with it.
Last year, she formed a support group for patients called Hope for HS. 30 people attended the first meeting.
They're able to connect with other patients like themselves that are going through the same things that they're going through. They're also able to interact with other physicians that are present at the support group to gain accurate information about their disease.
So there's nothing I can do that I know of that can stop this disease from ever coming back again, but we can help you cope with it, so we can help you manage it.
He's very informative and lets us know what's going on, and again, that gives us just more hope that people are learning about this, more people are caring. There's more research being done, and it sort of pushes our mindset to one day there will be a cure.
For Parks Miller, creating a forum for HS patients is the most rewarding thing she's ever done.
Okay. I really thank you personally because you've given more value and mission to my life by being able to work with all of you.
I believe every person will get to that stage where they're able to live with it. I'm not sure when a cure will happen. I hope it's soon.
But it's important that people hear the story of living with this disease so that they can understand it.